So this video will discuss about material requirement planning. Last class we discussed about aggregate production planning, master production schedule. This video will discuss about material requirement planning. Okay. So what is meant by material requirement planning? So with material requirements planning, otherwise we call it as a shortly MRP, is a computer-based inventory management system. This computer-based inventory management system, which is designed to assist production managers, in scheduling and placing orders for dependent demand items. Okay, so again, I'm telling you clearly, under the master production schedule, material requirement planning will be coming. So material requirement planning, otherwise MRP, is a computer-based inventory management system. It's a computer-based inventory management system which is designed to assist production managers in scheduling and placing orders for dependent demand items. Okay, so clear? Are you guys are clear? So it is going to help this system. It's a management system, computer-based inventory management system, going to assist the production managers for developing or for scheduling and placing orders for the dependent demand items. So what does it mean by dependent demand items? For example, if you take the bicycle is one product, but the company is going to make bicycle. Whether they will be buying a bicycle as a whole? No, they are going to buy the bicycles parts. Okay, that is what dependent demand items. Okay, bicycle might have numerous parts: bolts, nuts, frames, aluminum frames, chain, pedals, and seat, brake shoes, or rims, and tires, and all is there, right? So all this thing belongs to the particular cycle, bicycle. Okay, so this is a dependent product for this particular demand item. Our demand item is bicycle, but subclasses, sub items will be there in the particular. Our demand is bicycle. Under that, so many things. So these components, parts, which is parts of the particular component or particular product, is called as a dependent demand item. So material requirement planning is all about scheduling and placing orders for the particular dependent. So these components will be placed order, or scheduling and placing orders will be done by the production manager with the help of inventory management system software center. Okay, this is simply we call it as a material requirement planning. Clear? Scheduling and placing orders of what we need individual component. This is what MRP. Then this is another way we can say is the computational technique that converts master production schedule for end products into a detailed schedule for the raw materials and components. Okay, so this is come from master production schedule. Master production schedule from aggregate planning. From the master production schedule, material requirement planning is coming down. So aggregate planning is overall number. Master production schedule is subclass, like model wise. Model M means having M1, M2, M3, M4 model means it will be there in master production schedule. Under the master production schedule, material requirement. For example, M1. In M1, how many number of raw material needed to make for M1 product, or how many parts is needed for M2? Similarly, detailed schedule is developed in the in your material requirement planning. Okay, it's all directly connected with the particular part. Okay, means M1 model need this many number of raw material is needed, in the sense what are all the parts available will be needed to think, right? What are all the parts? For example, if you consider the same example like bicycle may be having a rim, or like a chain will be there. So what is the bill of material for the particular design or product or component needs to be understood. So bill of material needed in the sense how many number of bolts is needed or nuts is needed, rims are there in the particular example. That can be available, can be found from the bill of material. Bill of material will be telling about this is the component. What is the name of the component? Material which it is made, and a number of things needs to be manufactured. Also will be there in the bill of material. Maybe you might have know about engineering drawing and bill of materials and all. In that it will be giving number of parts going to be manufactured and on one particular category. For example, like forks, how many number of forks is needed? Okay, or bolts needed to buy? How many number of bolts in what size will be there? Okay, for example, different size means different part is there. Subclass is there in the bill of material, right? For example, 10 millimeter diameter bolt is needed in the sense 10 millimeter bolt in how many numbers? Like 10 numbers. Then 15 millimeter diameter bolt in needed in 10 numbers, like that will be there in the bill of material. So material requirement planning will be referring the bill of material and place the purchase orders which is needed for the particular company. Okay, this is what all about material requirement planning. Okay, then first MRP system of inventory management system developed in 1940s and 1950s. Basically, they used only bill of materials to plan the production and plan the purchase and order the components for the company or organization and do the production. But in 1980s, the MRP technology expanded as a MRP2. MRP2 in the sense, not material requirement planning 2, it is manufacturing resource planning. Okay, manufacturing resource planning is called MRP2. Welcome back. Last video, we were discussing about material requirement planning. What is material requirement planning? We discussed with the bicycle example. So material requirement planning basically will helpful for the production managers in scheduling and placing orders for dependent demand items. Okay, here demand item is our bicycle in example, and demand items are components or parts available inside the part of the bicycle. Okay, and where it come, it's basically from the bill of material. We get the details and we place the order, and also we plan for a detailed schedule. Okay, and the first MRP system in 1940s and the 1950s also planned. They used mainframe computers to get the information from the got the information from the bill of materials, and they planned and they placed the purchase orders. In 1980s, MRP technology expanded to MRP2. MRP2 is our manufacturing resource planning. Okay, manufacturing resource planning. It also incorporates marketing, finance, accounting, engineering, and human resource aspect into the planning process. Okay. So it is just differ from MRP. MRP2 is differ from MRP in terms of all these functions. What are the functions, functional areas like accounting, engineering, human resource aspects, or finance. All these functional areas have input, which also included to the master production schedule. But in terms of general MRP, it doesn't have. But in manufacturing resource planning, that is MRP2, all these functional areas like finance, accounting, engineering, all these financial areas have input. That input will be given to the master production schedule. Okay, then MRP2 system often includes simulation capability. Simulation purpose, in general simulation purpose is to try various methods, various possibilities before we go for any activity, real activity, right? In this also, it will in MRP2, which is having simulation capability, which helps the managers, production managers, to simulate various possibilities about placing orders or scheduling, and then which is the best one, the production manager can get a clear idea. Okay, this is all about material requirement planning 2. Okay. the same related concepts expanded, means MRP is expanded to enterprises resource planning, ERP. Generally we call ERP, which uses computer technology to link the various functional areas across an entire business enterprises. Uh, Again, we remember that MRP or enterprises resource planning or MRP2 all comes under our business side, like a production management side. Production, you know that not necessary manufacturing needed here, service also included. So ERP is mainly happening in recent times, in the last 10 last decade also. Numerous job openings is there. It's not necessary only mechanical students will be studying about MRP, MRP or ERP software. So any computer science students also, but the students who is having knowledge on ERP, the ERP softwares, who basically a mechanical engineer, will get good opportunities because mechanical students knew and understand about the manufacturing processes, scheduling and design drawings, and well, they could understand. So I would suggest ERP will be the scope for others, or you guys also. So please go through some of the softwares if you have time. Okay. So what all outputs will be there from MRP? So planned order releases in terms of two. One is purchase order. So these are all the items we have to buy based on the mass aggregate production planning. They get it from master production schedule. From the master production schedule, here in MRP, they create individual component and what is needed, demand product needed for them, dedicated design. So from that, they prepare a list of material needed for that particular component to make. Then they place order. Then work orders also. To make parts and products, they release work orders to the particular production line. That is also will be done by the MRP. That is also one of the output. Then report of planned order release in future periods. So the report planned order, already planned order, they will be keeping. That one will be raised to the future periods. Okay. Then rescheduling notification. If there is a need of rescheduling, why there is a need for the rescheduling? For example, some machineries got failure, malfunction, or tool got broken. Okay, during that time they have to shut down that particular machine for temporarily. Then they replace. During that time, they can reschedule the component or production flow. Okay, then cancellation notice. Once that order is ready, once the machine is ready, then the production will be start again. Okay, then instead of rescheduling, they can cancel that order. Then inventory status report. What is there in our industry? How much capacity we are storing inside our industry inventory level? Okay, performance report. Whether how the machines are running, so how the operators are running, whether they are working 8 hours or less, something like that, they can understand. And inventory forecast also. Futuristically, how much they need to know, how much they need to buy or something like a demand, according to the demand of the customer, something they have to plan here. Okay, whether we have enough materials inside our inventory or not, they should understand and place the order for that. Okay, these are all the things comes under MRP outputs. Okay, then benefits of material requirement planning is reduction in inventory. Reduction in inventory is very, very important point. Okay, simply you can't store huge number of raw materials inside your store. Why? Storing material will be cost involved. Okay, you should not. You don't know whether the component are stored will be safe for longer period. You don't know. Some disaster may happen or corrosion may happen in the component. Then rework on that is too much. Losses will be there, right? So storage is not advisable. Just-in-time concept is different, but in this one, minimum amount of material needs to be stored. We should not dump it a huge volume. Okay, huge volume, huge number or something. We should not do that. So reduction in inventory possible if we plan the inventory properly. If we schedule that properly, we maintain whole record properly. Like what are the orders we maintain here? If we maintain this properly, we will be having less inventory, right? And quicker responses to changes in demand. Suddenly market demand is high. So for example, these periods like a mask needed too much or ventilator needed. But now people are feeling difficulties in preparing ventilators. Why? because they didn't expect this one. This is an unexpected one, fine. But if they some inventory in inverter making companies or ventilator making company, I mean ventilator making companies, if they might have had some storage in their company, they might have responded to this kind of situation very good. But it is unexpected situation. But I'm telling like in another way, if there is a demand quickly, maybe now they understand this is needed, then they invest something, they keep it in the inventory. When changes in the demand occurs, they make a response quickly. Okay, this is also one of the benefit which could be gained from the MRP. Okay, reduced setup and change over cost, better machining utilization, all about maintaining schedule properly. Okay, if we maintain the schedule or routing properly, we can reduce the setup time, change over cost, or machining utilization also. We can effectively we can able to use. Okay, and improved capacity to respond to changes in master production schedule. Means, as I said, this is MRP came from master production schedule. So if we respond it properly or work it properly in MRP, then it is easy for better preparation of master production schedule. If we have master production schedule properly, then aggregate planning also will be good. Okay. So next topic is capacity planning. It is also part of our activities of production planning and control. What is meant by capacity planning? So capacity planning is concerned with defining long-term and short-term capacity needs of an organization. Okay. So it is discussing about defining what is the long-term requirement, capacity requirement, and the short-term capacity requirement of the particular organization, and also determining how those needs will be satisfied. In what way we could able to satisfy those needs, like long-term needs or short-term needs. That is also comes under capacity planning. Okay, so capacity planning decisions are taken based upon customer demand. Of course, based on customer demand only we are making, but capacity planning mainly discussed about based on the customer demand, and this is merged with who are all there in our industry, what are all the things part of the industry, like human, material, financial resources of particular organization. Everything is interconnected or merged together to make capacity planning decision. Okay, so it is also concerned with determining what is how much labor required and equipment resources required to meet out the master schedule. Means what is our requirement, demand from the customer both in short term and also long term, and also identify the limitations of the available production resources. Okay, it is also connected with material requirement planning, right? Material requirement planning in one side, another side master production schedule. So capacity planning or capacity planning team planners should know that what is master production schedule, what is material requirement planning. Okay, team is doing. Then only they could be able to identify the limitation of overall production. So and also they should know that what is the requirement for the labor, how much labor is required, how much equipment resources are needed for this production, like long term or short term. They should know, and also they should understand clearly about customer demand, how much customer demand is needed, and they have to connect everything which is there in our industry, like material flow or material, human resources, financial resources of the particular company. Okay, this is what all about capacity plan. So this is like a flow diagram, which is part of our activities of production planning control. So this is the capacity planning. As I said, it is connected to master production schedule and also material requirement planning. So in master production schedule, where is that capacity planning, how it is connected? The capacity planning will be calculating rough cut capacity planning. It is not exact number. Hope they will be doing exact number RCCP, but this will give, they will calculate based on their experience and what based on their need as of now, and they will give the number, a rough cut number to the master production schedule. Based on this master production schedule, for example, as I explained, like one car company, they make numerous models, like for example 10 models in one particular brand, like again name it like XUV 100 they make in XUV100 7 variant they are making. Each 7 variant they need like different materials needed, and what is the capacity needed for that one, what is the resource needed for that. All the calculation will be done before in the capacity planning at the beginning. That number will be sent to the master production schedule. Okay, this master production schedule then accumulate and keep like, okay, variant A will be need this much number, variant B, variant C, like variant 1 to 10, how many number of cards needed and what are the raw materials needed, they will do. Then it will be sending to them aggregate planning. Fine, this is one side. But again, when they are doing the material requirement planning also, the capacity planning input will be there, are necessary. If what are the things already being calculated by the capacity planners, like a rough cut capacity planning, if it is satisfied, then they directly go for the material requirement planning and they proceed the production. If that calculation might go little wrong, not much different, significant difference won't be there if it is coming. In the sense, again they do the planning and they will calculate it again and they give the numbers to the material requirement planners or to the team, particular team. That kind of work is called capacity requirements planning. This is different, this is different. The first one is capacity planning, is rough cut capacity planning before they go for material requirement planning. Okay, that is what here. But in the bottom line, bottom portion is about capacity requirements planning. It is also similar like RCCP, but here after that material requirement planning, then they will get clear idea, better idea in when they plan capacity planning, material requirement planning. Okay, because master production schedule will fix all the things and give it back. So once approval came and the production started running, then they will get this idea. Okay, so this is the difference between RCCP and capacity requirement planning. Okay, so as I said, capacity planning having two things like long term and short term. So what are the adjustment we have to do for short term? So short term include employment levels. We have to adjust employment level, whether we need demand increases, whether we need to take recruit new people or not, or if demand is not there, whether we like terminate the people or not, we have to think that is also employment level. Temporary workers, demand increases, if we increases in them, we take contract employers to the company, right? According to the demand. Then once the demand period got over, we can send them to other company or we recruit the temporary employee from particular agency. The agency will be giving service for the industries like us. In the sense, they give during our peak period need, we can recruit some people from them and utilize it for our production. Then once the demand is over, we can give it back to them, so that they can utilize the same workers for some other company. Okay, so number of work shift. So number of work shift also we can increase. Usually the company used to run for 2 shift, like then they can go for 3 shift. Or number of hours of shift, particular shift, usually 8 hours. Somebody might go for 9 hours shift. Okay, then how much inventory we are storing, order backlogs, what all the order backlogs we are having, we should know, and subcontracting. Give some works to some other contractor instead of making everything. The big players like Hyundai company and all, they give each and every, they won't make each and every component in their plant itself. They give to the subcontractor, right? They make it. And they will give them that what are all the things they need. Okay, these are all the adjustment, the capacity adjustment we have to do under short term. Then what about long term? The capacity adjustment for long term include new equipment investment. So once it's all about demand or forecasting, futuristic thinking we have to have. So after 5 years, we are going to in our industry, we are going to develop some component like this for the customer need. Our future technology will be like that. Accordingly, we have to focus. In the sense, we have to invest some money now itself. Like GE companies are investing lots of money in terms of new equipments and all. Even like 3D printing machines and all, they invested huge money long back itself, in 2015 itself. Why? In the sense, they know that that is the market now. So instead of how to say, instead of making wind turbine blades, if it is possible to print using 3D printing machine, it is cost effective. They no need to wait for a long time, and also number of machines or investment needed for that one, it will be minimized due to 3D printing, because they are going to try. Okay, so for that they invest some 3D printing machine now, because in future they are going to use that one. So investing that kind of machine is good for long term. And also new plant construction. We decided, okay, we are in future, we are going to extend. The market is very good. Our product is going well in the market, and we are going to supply the product to some other countries also. In the sense, we need some place, means already we are having one plant. Why not to consider? Why not extend that one more plant? That is also. And purchase of existing plants. Already there is a plant. They used to do this kind of component, but now they are couldn't able to continue. In the sense, we could purchase a particular plant from them, and we can utilize. Otherwise, nothing is going on in the plant. What all the things we are making is not effective. Instead of the keeping that or running the plant, we can close. Okay, so these are all the consideration we have to have, or adjustment we have to have for capacity planning for long term. Okay, so we discussed about capacity planning, short term, long term. What is capacity planning? Okay, so next topic is shop floor control. We'll continue this shop floor control in the next video. Thank you.